and man, the Bible has always had, no matter what story is being told, no matter how weird it may seem to us, there is always an underlying question that is slowly but surely being answered. And the question that is really underlying almost every passage in the entire Bible, especially the Old Testament, is the same. And that question is, what is God going to do about sin? If God and man had a relationship with no barriers, they were able to walk with one another and talk with one another and live in this Edenic paradise, sin is the thing, even if you don't understand what sin is or why it happens or how we commit it or which things count as sins. Those are explained later in the Bible. But that category of a thing, whether or not we really fully understand that thing in the moment in those chapters early in Genesis, that thing, sin, is what has caused a rift between God and His image-bearing great creation. And every chapter of the Bible since has carried along this underlying question, which is being piece by piece answered over the course of the whole Bible from one cover to the next. And that question is, what is God going to do about sin? How is He going to get rid of it? And if you remember in Genesis, the very first thing that we see is the sin has spread so bad. The way that He gets rid of sin in the beginning, the first attempt, is the great flood. That is, I will judge everybody who has committed a sin, and I will start over fresh. There will be a new Adam, and that new Adam is Noah, and we'll start over with Noah. And then there's a flood, and Noah and his family are the seemingly the righteous few who are saved. And yet, as soon as they get off the boat, guess what? They brought the sin with them because it was in everybody, including Noah. And so the answer to what God will do about sin in the early chapters of Genesis is, well, let's judge everybody and then we'll start over. And that doesn't work. And so now what do we do? Well, after that, we really get into the main story of the Bible, which begins with a different plan to handle sin. Not judging everybody who's ever committed a sin immediately with a life sentence or a death penalty, because that wouldn't work. No, what's He going to do about it? We're not doing a flood. In fact, the rainbow is the guarantee that that is not the way He's going to do it anymore. I'm never going to flood the world again. So how does He do it? This starts the main story of the Bible in Genesis 12, and that's with the selection of this random guy out of nowhere who's super old and has a wife who's also old, and they have no kids and they can't have kids. And through him, apparently, God decides that all of the families of the world in whom are sin, that they have sin, every one of them, all of those people with all of their sins will be made whole and right with God by way of this one guy. Somebody from this guy's family is going to do something some point in the future, and whatever that thing is, and whoever is the person who does it, which at this point in the story we don't really know, sin is going to be resolved. The issue is going to be laid to rest. And everything by the end of the story will be like it was at the beginning, where the first 2 chapters of the Bible and the last 2 chapters are the same. God and man living together, no sin in sight. So what is God going to do about sin? It starts with Abraham. And so if you're the reader, you know, okay, I know that sin is a problem and everybody's got it. And the early chapters of Genesis really made that case. Not only does everybody have it, it passes from father to son. It gets worse with every generation. It spreads to everybody. Everybody doesn't just pick it up as they go. They're actually born with it. And there's no way for them to simply choose not to commit sins. It's not possible. Nobody can do it. We know that about sin. And now as Genesis begins, this main story of the Bible starts, which is how's He going to deal with it? And he gives us one clue as we're reading through. You as the reader, you know, I got one clue. And